Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, and today, we talk about stuff on this channel all the time, and it's everything from personal growth to business to, a hodgepodge of everything, right? But today we're going to talk about how to get what you want out of life. So stay tuned.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric. Today I thought we'd talk about chainsaw surfing.
All right, so with this channel, I talk about real life examples of, accomplishments and trials and tribulations and how to's. And one of the biggest things that I hear is, how do you get what you really want out of life? Well, you got to first define what it is you want, right? See, I'm a firm believer in, if you want it bad enough, then you can succeed if you're willing to put the time and effort in and then have a plan of action to do it. Now, I can give you an example of me with school. When I was in high school, I didn't receive honors. I was just taking up space basically. All I cared about was passing. And you could have played checkers on any one of my report cards. I wasn't special. I wasn't driven to want to be the best student there. And the biggest reason I wasn't the best student there was because I didn't apply myself as hard as other people did that did become, on their honor roll. And don't get me wrong, I had a friend Jamie, that kid, he didn't have to study or anything, and he just knew the answers. Smart kid. But that's a gift that some people have, all right? But later in life, in my 30s, I had an opportunity to go back to school. And what I opted to do was I wanted to show my kids. I wanted to prove to my kids that you're never too old to go back and get a degree. Because both of my kids got their high school diplomas, and that's where they stopped. They didn't have any interest in going on to college. Actually, both of them started raising families, just like I did. I had started college, a year before my wife and I got married. And it's not because of them, but I gave up college because I needed to go to work full time in order to support my family, okay? And we make choices in life. Some are good choices, some are bad choices, some are choices that at the time it's the best thing to do. Because now I have to be a provider instead of, further education. And to be honest with you, I blew off college. I went from high school right into college, okay? So I didn't have a lot of the experience that I did when I was in my 30s, of how to do things and how to appreciate things. But I'll be honest with you, in my 30s, when I had this opportunity to go back to school for a 2-year degree in associates, I honestly doubted myself every step of the way because internally I was telling myself that I wasn't good enough. And that drove me to study harder, to do better, and be the best. I didn't compete against other people, I competed against myself. And I was my own worst enemy too, you know. You can ask my wife. It used to drive her nuts because I would just get so anxious over school. And, I had a professor tell me one time, he said, if you don't know it the day before class, the day before the test, you're never going to know it. So the worst thing you can do is start opening books and trying to, you know, pick out this and that because it's just going to come out in a garble when you take your test. So that's the way I did. I stayed up. I went to every class. In between classes, I was either doing homework, reading, what have you, that pertained to it. And I would come home after a test and my wife would say, what's the matter? And I'd say, I know I failed that test. I know I failed that test. And I go on and on and on. And then the next day, I get into class and they hand out the grades. And mine is in the upper 90 percentile. And I get home, my wife would ask, how did the test go? How bad did you do? I got a 97. I don't even want to hear another word out of you. That was her. Because I would get so obsessed. But the big thing is I knew I wanted this. I knew I wanted this 2-year degree to prove to myself and to my kids that I could do it. That I had the capacity to learn, if that means anything. So as I was coming up on the end of my 2-year degree, this college that I was going to was offering a brand new bachelor's program in the IT field, information technology. And a number of my professors said, Eric, why don't you stick around and be part of this bachelor's degree program? And I had never dreamed of getting a bachelor's degree. I just wanted to get an associate's degree, right? But I had the time to do it. And I also had the capacity to learn from others. And it helped that the core group of people that I had around me, which was a mix of young and old, all wanted the same thing, and that was to get a degree and do well, okay? So some of the guys that were part of my associate's degree in computer information systems jumped on board as well and said, we're going to do the bachelor's. Now, as I said, with my associates, with being disabled, they gave me the opportunity to go and they covered my books and tuition, all right? But that's as far as they would go is a 2-year degree. And my wife and I sat down and talked about it. And she said, you need to go for it. You need to show yourself that you can do it. You're smart enough. And you've got the time. And I said, well, what about the expense? She said, we'll worry about the expense later. She goes, well, we'll apply for student loans just like everybody else does, and I want you to go for it. So we did. I applied for the student loans and everything else. I got accepted into the bachelor's program. And voila. Was it easy? No. I have never been pushed as hard as I was pushed in that bachelor's program, you know, to learn. I mean, it was a lot of programming, a lot of writing viruses, so you knew how to, combat it, managing servers, developing websites. And towards the end of my bachelor's degree, I had a we had to do internships. So one of my friends, Andrew, real smart kid, still smart kid. He was homeschooled and everything, but the kid was phenomenal. He knew programming. He loved it. So what we opted to do was I went to the local school system in our area and I said, look, is there a chance you'd be willing to take two of us on as an internship program? And it's not going to cost you anything. But we will come in and we will revamp and protect your systems here at school, update everything. And not only will we do that, but I will build you a beautiful website. And then I will also build you a area where teachers can log on and post upcoming tests, homework, what have you, so that each teacher has their own site within the site on the server. And it was server hosted, that's those unique sites. But what I was trying to accomplish was for the kids that, let's say they missed a day of school because they were sick, well, they could check, on the website. They could log into the teachers area. They had their own username and login, and then they had to be granted access, which I would for students, to see what they were posting, whether it was homework or upcoming tests, teacher conferences, what have you, whatever the teacher wanted to post to their student. And we did that for 6 months. And at the end of the 6 months, I also taught, they talked me into it, but I also taught a web development class. There was a lot of interest within that school from students that wanted to learn how to design websites and how to do graphic, stuff. So I said, sure, I will teach the course. I never taught in my life. All right. So I will teach the course on what I feel is most important and start them in the beginning and work the way up. But by the end of the semester, they will have a operating website. And by then I had 4 different servers anyways that I was hosting websites off of. So hosting their website wasn't hard. I had some kids that blew it off, but the thing that impressed me the most was at the end of my bachelor's program, I had to sit in front of my peers, my professors, and tell them what I had done and what Andrew had done within this school system. And what impressed my peers the most was all the kids from my web development class wanted to be part of that end of year, what I had done. And the professors had never seen that before. Why would a bunch of kids want to come, and support the students that are finishing their bachelor's? So they made the accommodations. And I tell you, it made me more nervous because here are my kids, that I taught for a semester. But it left me with, you know what? I can do whatever it is I want to do. I can accomplish whatever it is I want to accomplish if I'm willing to put in the time and effort. And I'll show you something. I mean, this isn't the... But here. This is my Bachelor's of Technology with highest honors. All right? So you know that... No, I didn't print it off the internet. They gave it to me as a going away present. But it left me with that I had some impact on other people, especially the kids, when I was teaching them how to do web development. That it was that important to them to want to come and support me on finishing my degree. So I think that if there's anything in life that you want to accomplish, is what I'm trying to get at. It can be done if you're willing to do the work, spend the time, and put forth the effort. Compete against yourself to be better and better and better. And I went from not even thinking that I could graduate from a 2-year program to graduating from a 2 and a 4-year program with highest honors and in 2 honor societies. And I tell you that not to brag. I tell you that because I'm not any better than anybody else. I'll be honest with you. I'm not. And I know you young people that are watching this, I'm telling you, you can do as good, if not better than me, if you put your time in and you put the effort in. And it's something that you really want. That's the key for life. You get out what you put in. If you're not willing to put the time and effort into it, then why do it? You're just taking up space. All right, on that, give us some thought. And we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.